Hey everyone, this is Zach, the broker of Zach Taylor Real Estate. Today I'm going over how to submit an offer, how to write it in Dotloop, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So let's jump into it. We're going to be pretending to write an offer for 101 West Ryan Street in Collinwood, Tennessee. So if you haven't checked out my previous video on how to write winning offers, go ahead and check that out first, because I'm going to skip over a lot of those steps and really just show you how to kind of package the whole contract paperwork together and get that submitted, and also how to use our Dotloop software when you're writing an offer. So let's go through it. The first things first is my client. We'll say it's Taylor. She wants to write an offer on this home. So there's a couple things we're going to do first. So we're going to go here and we're going to pull any documents that are already given to us on the MLS. So thankfully, Grace, one of our amazing agents, has listed the confirmation of agency status and the property condition exemption. I'm guessing probably because nobody has lived there. So that's the most common use of that. But confirmation, let me download that to my computer. Then let me exit out. Let me go to property condition exemption. If again, watch the previous video, how to write winning offers. But if these forms aren't on here, then go ahead and reach out to that listing agent at this time to start pulling those and notify them that you're about to write an offer for their home. So we downloaded those two. Also, what I'm going to do, what's really helpful, is CRS tax data. So you can get there by just clicking this, and then it'll pull up the property report. So this is going to be very helpful when we're writing the offer. So just have that tab handy. And then I'm going to go over to Dotloop now. So let me copy the address. I'm going to go over to Dotloop. I'm going to create a new loop, type in the address. So it does actually pull it from the MLS, some information. So if I want to, I can click that. For now, I'll just click out, hit continue. Template, buying residential, done. Don't have to do a photo. That just kind of helps with organization on my dashboard so I can find it faster, but you don't have to. View loop. So now here's our template. And so what I can do is we're ready to write an offer. So I will add in the documents from the MLS. So go ahead and add another one. Now I'm going to, this is confirmation of agency, confirmation slot is right here. So I'm going to drop that in there. Exemption form. So that would be where the disclosure form, it's either or usually. So this will go right here. Now I'll just rename this so that way I can remember it. Exemption, perfect. And now signed MLS sheet. And so the reason I'm filling these required slots is because with our compliance side of it is if you don't have these filled in or signed with documents, when I hit submit for review, contract docs, submit, it blocks me because I have not completed all the proper paperwork. So I have to go through and get this done real quick. So signed MLS sheet. So if I go back to the MLS, here it is, hit print, save as a PDF. And I'll just call this 101. I'll go back here, add file, computer, 101, open. So now that one's good. There's a disclaimer and comp agreement. So those I will open together when I'm getting ready to draft up everything. But when you're writing an offer with a buyer, 3 of the most commonly used forms are going to be lead-based paint, disclosure. So that is if the home was built before 1978. If it was built in 1978 or newer, you don't have to worry about it, but it's before 1978. So let's look at this one, 1953. So we will need that disclosure. And then the other 2 most common ones are VA FHA addendum if your buyer is using that loan program. So in this example, we'll say Taylor is using a VA loan. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. And then the last most common disclosure form that you'll need is the subsurface sewage disclosure. So that'll be if it's on a septic tank. And for this example, let's go in. It's actually public sewer. So we do not need that. That is something you can always confirm with the listing agent, just to triple check. But in this example, we need the lead-based paint and the VA FHA addendum. So to add those, add document, templates. I'm just going to go ahead, go to tar forms. Then if I go VA, it's right there. If I go lead-based paint, it's right here. Copy. Now they're in my loop. So now I'm going to drag these in the order that I want to send them to my client. So first and foremost, I think I want them to see the purchase and sale agreement first. So we're going to now open these up. Exemption, MLS, disclaimer. I'm not going to send the compensation agreement to the buyer, Taylor, because this compensation form is between the listing agent and me. So I'm going to send them these documents because I'm going to need signatures on them. So let's go ahead and go open. Now it's going to open. Now autofill, we're going to add, let's say Taylor is my only buyer. Actually, let's use a different email, zach@zachtaylorrealestate.com. Let's use that email. Add. Okay, so now Taylor's in here. Address 101 West Ryan Street. So 101 West Ryan Street. City is in Collinwood, Tennessee. 38450. 38450. County, I think that's Wayne County. And the reason I'm using this autofill is because I've opened up like 7 documents. So when I input the stuff in here, nothing is required in here, but the more I do, and when I hit autofill, it'll add that to all 7 documents at the same time. That way I don't have to type out 101 West Ryan Street 7 times. So I do that. What's the purchase price? We're going to say Taylor wants to go ahead and offer $295 on this property. So 295, 1, 2, 3. Taylor said she wants to put down $3,000 in earnest money and legal description. So we can go back over to our CRS tax data tab. Legal description will be down here, and it should also be in the listing. So here's subdivision, lot, acres. I don't see it listed. So let's go here. There. Deed page. Page will be up here. Right here. So book page. So book 241. Page. It's this longer number. There we go. Autofill. So now here we are. Now everything's been autofilled. Because I don't really have a complete legal description, I'm going to go ahead and change this one. I'm going to use the parcel tax ID number. And again, if you're questioning why I'm putting that in here, watch my other video on how to fill out the purchase and sale agreement. I'm going to kind of go through this really quickly, but watch that full comprehensive video on how to fill these out. But really, I'm just trying to show kind of bundling an offer together and using Dotloop. So seller, we'll go back to our CRS tax data. Tony Woodall. There we go. Just change the order of the name. There we go. Make sure this is filled in. Don't leave that blank. We have to know who the 2 parties are. I'm also going to put the MLS number. There we go. So everything that's included. Taylor would also like the shed in the backyard. We do not want personal property and trash. No leased item. Taylor wants to offer $295. She is a VA loan, and it's 100%. So notice again, it's kind of helpful in the purchase sale. It does say VA loan, attach addendum. So just a reminder right there. It is contingent upon the appraised value. Title expenses, Taylor told me that she wants the seller to pay these. There we go. Closing agency for Taylor. We will make up a title company, super title. Contact information, 123-456-7890. Also, find out who the seller wants to use. So let's see. Nothing off the top. So I want to go ahead and reach out to Grace and just say, hey, which title company does the seller prefer to use? Or if Taylor wants to try and negotiate, hey, everybody close that super title, she can do that too. So just find that out and get with your client. So let's say for this example, they want to use Awesome Title. Earnest money, Name of holder, we want our title company to hold it. Super title is on 123 Main Street in Collinwood, TN. Closing date, Taylor indicated that it's VA and about 45-day closing. So if we look at our calendar, June 25th will be 30 days, 37. Let's say July 15th, and that's a Friday. That way they can close and then have all weekend to kind of move stuff in as well. So we'll say July 2022. Possession will be once they close. No greenbelt or special assessments. Deed. Taylor. Lead-based paint does apply. Remember, if it's prior to 1978. So see attached lead-based paint disclosure. Inspections, she would like a 10-day inspection period. And she will do this on quote unquote a pass-fail basis is this paragraph. So she checked that. Final inspection for a walkthrough, then 1 day. Taylor said she wants to waive home protection plan. Special steps. Say lead-based paint disclosure, VA addendum. And let's say that Taylor wants to make it contingent upon the sale of her house. Maybe Taylor's actually selling a house as well, and she needs to sell that house first, use the proceeds to then buy this house. So we have all the different clauses in Dotloop already. So she can type buyer, and then first thing that pops up, here's different clauses, but contingent on sale of property. So this agreement is contingent upon the sale and closing of the property located at, and this will be Taylor's house that she's selling. So let's say she's on 123 Main Street in Nashville, Tennessee, on or for the closing date. So now that's there. Time limit. So how long is this offer good through? How much time do we want to give for the seller to consider our offer? Taylor said she would like to give them 24 hours. So it is 2:38. So let's just say 3 p.m. on the 26th day of May, 2022. Now Taylor's initials here to sign. This is one of the most forgotten line items right here, but initial here, sign here. It's got our info already. I am the selling licensee as well. Just gonna put my email, cell phone. Now, quick note. Me and Taylor do have the same last name. We are married. So if I am submitting an offer on her behalf, I am also going to include a personal interest disclosure. For this example, I'm just using Taylor and saying she's just a client to me. We're not related. So I'm not going to dive into that form. But that is a form that if you are a family member of your client, make sure you disclose that. So lead-based paint right here. Seller's going to have to check one of these boxes. Buyer's going to check one of these boxes. And then everybody's going to sign. So really what I like to do is have the seller kind of fill this out first, because that might change the buyer's opinion. So the seller has no knowledge of lead-based paint, or they are aware. Well, if they are aware and I just hit waive, well, that might produce an issue later down the road. So usually I want the seller to fill this out first. I might text Grace and say, hey, can you send me a lead-based paint disclosure? But this is a form that will have to be filled out because it's built before 1978. So it shows Taylor. VA FHA addendum is right here. So this is saying she basically appraised value with the VA loan. So we are offering $295, and that's what she wants it to appraise for. If applicable, the VA funding fee shall be paid as follows. We're going to check added to the loan amount and financed. Check right there. Non-allowables, if left blank, it's 0. So in this example, we'll leave it 0. But again, these are all conversations with a VA buyer. Talk to the lender, also talk to the client, figure out if they want to include anything in here and try to negotiate further. So it has Taylor to sign here. And I need to sign as well. Confirmation of agency. Add. Sorry, this isn't the most exciting video, but there's a lot of typing and thinking. So licensee name, checkbox, I'm the designated agent. We've already filled out a buyer representation agreement. So I'm the designated agent. Nope, that's not right. Taylor, add text. Zach Taylor, real estate, sign. Exemptions already filled out. There's a checkbox. Everything's filled out correctly. Add a box for Taylor. Signed MLS sheet. Let's just go ahead and add a signature box. This is kind of just confirming, hey, Taylor, here's kind of the basics of what you're buying. Some generic information. Disclaimer. Assigned to Taylor. And that's everything. So now we've kind of put the whole package together. Let me back out. Now, purchase and sale. Remember lead-based paint, I was going to say, ask the listing agent for a copy of that first. So VA, confirmation, exemption, MLS, disclaimer. So these items I want to send to the client to review and sign. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit share. Taylor, 7 fields assigned. I want her just to sign. If I want to give her view only access, that's an option. Or if I need her to fill information, I can do that too. So can sign. Let's go share. All right, documents have been shared. So now it's been sent to Taylor. So let's jump over to Taylor's view and see what that looks like. So here's how it looks. It says Zach has shared 6 documents for your review. I think I'm gonna have to log out of Dotloop to make this work. Let's go here. Actually, let's go private window. That way it doesn't log me in. So here we go. This is Taylor's screen. So what she's gonna do is hit start signing. Now it does jump to the bottom. So I always like to include a note to the client. Hey, please review everything. Only if it's acceptable, then sign. That way they just don't skip through and miss everything and sign off. Taylor sign, Taylor sign, sign, sign. And again, I'm just pretending that Taylor's thoroughly reviewed everything. I've explained everything to her. That way she's fully aware of everything that's being signed off on. Finish signing. You're done. So now it's working. It says I'm working on the loop. They can create an account if they want to for free to kind of always have a copy of their documents. Also, you could just download it as their agent and just send it to them either way, but they don't have to do this. So you're done. So let's exit out of that. Let's go back. Now it says you've signed everything. Now let's log in again. Where's my property? 101. So now you can see everything said signed. I didn't share the lead-based paint. Signed, 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 signed. So I have all that filled out. Now I'm going to fill out the compensation agreement. Autofill, autofilled. Enter this, what is today? The 25th of May, 2022. Listing broker, firm name, Zach Taylor Real Estate. I'm just gonna put her name just because it's the same company, just to make it a little bit more clear. There we go. And she's offering 3%. 3%. And then we would, Grace signs here, I sign here. So change this to anyone, sign, sign, save. All right, so now I finished my portion. And one more time before you send it over, we don't have to send over the signed MLS sheet. That's just an internal doc. We don't have to send over the disclaimer. we will want to send over the compensation. So we'll want to send over these and your pre-approval. So if you have your pre-approval, always send that as well. That helps make your offer much stronger. So let's open these. And we're just going to double check that Taylor's signature is on here. Sign, sign, perfect. VA signed. I have to sign that one as well. Signed, signed, good. Exemption signed, compensation signed. Perfect. Okay, so now that everything is signed, there's a couple ways to do this. One thing is to just share it. You can share it with the other agent. You can input their name, add their email, and then you can put view only. And I would not, normally what I do not check attach PDF to email. And here's why. Because if I just hit view only, share it with this unchecked, here's what happens. It sends it to them. But then also over here, if I hit these three little dots, I can hit history. And it shows Taylor viewed the document at this specific day and time. Taylor signed the document at this specific day and time. So when I share it with the other agent, let me jump back to that screen, share it, and I leave this unchecked, as soon as the other agent, Grace, has viewed our documents, I have a registered log of that. That way there's never any, hey, I never got your offer. I never saw it, because we can track and say, hey, you saw it at exactly this time and this date. So that's one option that I recommend doing. The other option is just checking what you need, hitting download, saving it to your computer, and then just attaching it in email to Grace and just say, here's the offer, please confirm receipt. And then when she responds back, I've received the offer, now you know she's for sure gotten it. I also like to follow up with a text, that way to say, hey, Grace, I just sent you the offer. That way they know to look for it and make sure it hasn't gone to the spam folder. But that's how you package together a offer and contracts in Dotloop. The final thing I want to mention is, let's say we get everything back from Grace and we're now fully bound. Everything's bound. So let's say purchase and sale agreement. We just have the version that's signed by Taylor. But let's say we have a fully bound one. Well, what we can do is when Grace emails that back over to us or shares something in Dotloop, a fully signed one, I want to now add that back to this loop. So what I'm going to do is add, browse. Let's just say, for example, this is, actually, let's just do this one. Open. So let's say Grace just sent everything back to me fully bound and signed off. She also sent the lead-based paint disclosure. So I'm going to upload that giant PDF into Dotloop, and it's sitting right here. So I can open it. And here's what it should look like. And then before I add anything to it, file split. And now I can tell Dotloop, hey, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 documents. File 5 is 1 page. This is the comp agreement. (15) through 17 is the exemption. Page 14, confirmation of agency. 12 and 13, VA. And 1 through 11 is the contract. Split. Everything's split. So because these are the bound documents, these are the ones that matter the most versus the ones that are just signed by my client. So now that I have it fully bound, what I can do is just take this and drag it over top. It replaces that old version, which is signed by one person. So VA, confirmation, exemption, comp. Perfect. So now my loop contains only the bound documents from both parties. It is the final signed documents. So when I have this fully complete, I just come up here, submit for review, contract docs, submit. Now it's sent it to the broker for review, which is just happens to be myself. and I will get this big red notification bar. I'll also get an email to say, hey, your agent Zach has submitted 101 West Ryan Street, the contract docs. They need review. So I'll click in and then I can go through here and approve everything. So let's just say I open it up. And let's say everything looks good on this, approve. This is kind of my side of it too. I look for any signature boxes. Let's say, oop, the seller didn't check this. So next, this one's good. Next, approved, next, approved, 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 approved. So 7 approved, 1 returned. So what you'll see is I'll change it to return to agent because, hey, one of the forms wasn't fully finished. This one. So now I can go in here as the agent. I know, hey, Zach said there was a checkbox that was missed on this document. I get it fixed. And then once it's fixed, I just come back up here, submit for review, contract docs, submit. So that's kind of the workflow of submitting an offer to the other agent and also how to use Dotloop and get it submitted in time for review. We suggest within 48 hours. That way we can quickly check you and make sure everything is signed correctly and you're better protected legally. So hope this helps you guys out with how to submit an offer. Again, just remember the 3 most common disclosure forms are the lead-based paint, the VA FHA addendum, and the subsurface sewage disposal if you're on a septic tank. So those are the most commonly used ones. If you have any questions with writing an offer, feel free to reach out. And I'll see you guys next time.